really strong. And I think going up against FM, they are definitely the underdogs. I definitely don't think they're favoured here because FM historically have been incredibly strong across all UK tournaments.
Yeah.
But you know, they've got these two new additions. Sean 17 is done well against a lot of other UK mid laners, and JB Dutch, not Clowns, owns. JB Dutch owns.
We can't read. No squeaky noses in this game, unfortunately.
Yeah. JB Dutch owns is someone that I'm really interested to see what's happening. So let's have a look at the picks and bans. Thresh and Ari coming down. Thresh going out against Bartiono. Gangplank coming down. I'm not surprised about that. He's ridiculously strong. Triforce.
Even after the nerf. Yeah. 10% armor pen, it's not big of a deal.
Triforce, Infinity Edge, Last Whisper, that kind of build is just like, those barrels can almost three-quarter shot
one
people.
shot the entire enemy team.
And FM still sticking with the bans against Sean 17. LeBlanc is going down the toilet. She's not going to be seeing this game. Mordekaiser coming through, don't want to play against that in the bot lane, want to keep it a standard AD carry lane. And this has left up a couple of other picks right now. Fiora going over likely for Tundra, I would imagine.
What? How did Fiora slip through these bans?
Yeah, I mean, the thing about Fiora, right, is if she survives lane, she is a monster.
Yeah.
But you can shut her down in lane, and she does become a little bit less useful than the previous Fiora. Just because the previous Fiora, you could build Tiamat, you could run in, hit your ultimate, you become untargetable.
Yeah.
You can still do the damage. Because it was kind of hard to play against that. She wasn't as strong, I guess, in the sense that she doesn't have the mobility that she had now. But you could just run into a team fight and press your ultimate, and you would be guaranteed damage, and you basically wouldn't. You could do
guaranteed usefulness.
Yeah, and AoE team damage was what was the biggest thing there. Now you have to do really well in lane, and then you have to be able to snowball from that. She is the most ridiculous 1v1 champion at the point in this game, portion in this game, basically.
As you would expect, being the duelist.
And if you can kill someone with your ultimate attached to them, that's heal for your entire team. It can turn an entire team fight. So if she gets rolling, she's one of those champions that you have to focus, otherwise you will just straight up lose a team fight. I like that Fiora's coming through, though. I like the fact that Fiora is now competitive. We'll have to see what TCA have in the bag to deal with this. Well, as this is happening, we had a couple more bans that picks them coming through. We're going to have Braum in the bot lane, Elise going through to the jungle, still very strong Elise in that jungle position.
Yeah, absolutely.
Candy Floss is going to be going on to Rek'Sai, champion he's incredibly good with, and we are going to see Tristana being picked up. Now, we talked about what Tristana is good for. Me and you were talking about it previously before the game. She can be a lane bully, especially paired with an aggressive support, but her tower pushing is really what everyone picked her for. You stick that explosive shot on a turret, you stack up those auto attacks, and towers just crumble. They're ridiculous. She's almost like a supercharged Jinx without having the late game teamfight pressure that Jinx has. She's obviously, Tristana is still strong in the late game, not as strong as she used to be, but she's really picked up for basically, if you win a skirmish, you can immediately take a tower. You know, the tower is in the bag if you have that advantage at the turret, and plus no one wants to get near the bomb when the bomb is on the turret because it deals damage to everyone around the turret. So
you basically one-shot minion waves that are walking past just because of that. But I want to quickly touch on as well this Braum that's been locked in. Now Braum is a champion that's suddenly become. Actually, we're going to see a Freljord lane coming through. I just noticed the Ashe as well. But Braum is a champion that didn't really see a lot of play for a long time, but over the last like sort of month and a half, he's just been picked almost every game. What is it about Braum that's suddenly so strong?
So basically, there's a couple of things that happened to Braum. He started seeing more competitive. They just buffed him. His Winter's Bite, originally, when Braum came out, his Winter's Bite, which is his Q ability where he throws the ice block, originally that did huge amounts of damage in lane, and Riot nerfed that into the ground. Well, anyway, Riot said, well, we're going to give him some damage back. So they gave him some damage back, and suddenly he's become a little bit stronger again. His Unbreakable is just an incredible trading tool in lane. If you throw that up, so I'm doing the action here.
That is
practically the action. If you throw that up and you just stick it in front of the minion wave, you can deny CS, you completely negate poke. All of that goes onto Braum, your AD carry is safe. People have just realized, actually, Braum is a really strong champion. You know, we can just walk up with our huge shield in front of the minion wave. We can win trades just by ourselves because you can still use abilities while Unbreakable is up. You just have to walk in one direction with it up, basically. And also, you can stop your enemy AD carry CSing. I like the Braum pick. It is hotly contested and actually works really well with some of the champions that are coming through here. We are going to see Orianna for Ziviz in the mid lane, a very powerful champion. He's so good on Orianna. We've seen it time and time again. I could probably say that about most UK mid laners. I feel like Orianna is just the champion for UK mid laners.
I think as well, Orianna is one of those champions that can just fit into almost any composition. It's just safe, it's reliable, you've got CC, you've got damage. You can't really go too far wrong with an Orianna pick.
No, and also, you know, Twisted Fate will get bullied by Orianna, but he's not going to get dominated by Orianna. It's not like picking Fizz into the Twisted Fate and saying, well, I will just crap all over you, basically. It's like Twisted Fate will suffer in the lane, but he won't suffer to the point where he's going to get one shot at level 3. And the Twisted Fate pickup for Sean 17, if you look at TCA's composition, he can combo with Elise, he can combo with Maokai, he can combo with the bot lane. He can practically go to any lane.
And with Ashe even.
Exactly, any lane. Reliably have CC in that lane and probably pick up kills with that, or with that ultimate of his. He can migrate across the map. You've got the Twisted Advance if he chooses to go mid-top lane. Combo with Elise in a gank, Cocoon, Gold Card, Ashe Arrow, Braum Stun. That is a CC train for days. This is a huge pick composition coming out from TCA, and they're going to rely on that pressure from Twisted Fate to get them rolling. Because if they don't have that pressure from Twisted Fate, then I think that just the team fight from FM Esports is just better. You've got ball delivery system, you've got good protection and good peel for Toaster, you've got Tundra who will be a threat by himself. There is basically almost a quadruple threat composition coming out from FM because Candy Floss, if he gets rolling, will be a threat himself. So basically there is a lot of pressure on TCA and especially a lot of pressure on Sean 17 here to get his team rolling because he needs to get all of those lanes going. Ashe Braum is strong lane, but it's never going to dominate a Tristana.
It's never going to hard carry.
Exactly. If they get solo kills, yes, Ashe is brilliant, but she still suffers from everything that Ashe has always suffered from, is that if someone jumps on her, she doesn't have any escape. So, for instance, Tundra and Candy Floss, perfect champions to get on top of an Ashe. Yes, the Ashe Arrow from close range will stun for a short period of time. Yes, that you can kite. You're kiting a Tundra who's got the dash and then into another dash to a close target. That will be able to negate the slow coming out from Ashe. So yeah, the bot lane from TCA is going to be under pressure here. But, you know, if Sean 17 can get rolling and start comboing, I imagine he's probably not going to be going top. JB Dutch is going to be holding his own versus Tundra. Now, interesting enough here, you know, the Maokai, people will say, well, this is just going to give Fiora a free lane, surely. Not necessarily. Maokai leveling Arcane Smash.
You'd be surprised how much damage Maokai
People are always surprised by how much damage Maokai can do. Arcane Smash, level 3, incredible trading tool, always does well. And also he's got great sustain. But I don't imagine, unless he's got help from Raisins, he's never going to dominate Tundra. That's the thing. Tundra is too smart of a player to let himself be dominated by a Maokai as Fiora. He will, I think, be, for all intents and purposes, negating jungle presence, a free lane for Tundra. JV can play it well. He can play the lane well, go straight armor, then just try and out-trade with his base damages. That could be a thing, but we'll see. We'll see how that lane goes up. So, you know, I talked a bit about 2 team comps. You know, Munch, how are you feeling about this? If I were to give the team the edge here, just because of the way that the team composition work and how I know Sean 17 plays, I think TCA have a brilliant composition.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I just feel like I think their whole win condition is so reliant on Twisted Fate here. I think they're entire, and then I think that's going to be a real problem for them.
Yeah, I think a key thing as well is it's very early game reliant. If you're going to run that Twisted Fate, sort of the level 6 to level 11-ish gap in the game, Twisted Fate has to be so active. You have to be around the map. You have to be utilizing that ultimate. But one thing we didn't touch on, in the FM lineup, if they can get sort of extended team fights, not only do they have the sustain from a Janna Monsoon should they use it for that purpose, they've also got the new Fiora ultimate is going to do that AoE heal. They actually have a surprising amount of sustain in those team fights. So
I agree with that for a sense, but I don't think they're going to be looking for sustained team fights. Because the only reason is because you're going up against an Ashe and a Twisted Fate and a Maokai, all of which excel at surviving and long team fights. If Ashe is kiting for days during a long team fight, she's going to get so much damage off. You've got to remember, once she applies Frost Shot, she's guaranteed a critical strike every time that she auto-attacks a target with the debuff on them. Obviously, those critical strikes aren't as strong as regular critical strikes, and they scale up throughout the game with the more critical strike chance that you get. Basically, the more critical strike chance Ashe gets,
crit chance turns into crit damage.
Crit damage, basically. You know, so Ashe excels in these extended team fights. I imagine what will happen here is they will just all in the Ashe or the Twisted Fate whenever they get a chance, and then they'll just roll off that. But you're right. I think both teams have equally decent sustained team fight phases. I would just say that if they don't manage to get the burst, if they blow all their gap closing and Ash and Twisted Fate are still living, FM then will be in a pretty tough position.
Yeah, they absolutely will. And we are onto the map. Ladies and gentlemen, join us on Summoner's Rift with our first game of the 5th week of the ESL UK Premiership. It's going to be FM Esports up against TCA. Is Sean 17's gross score impression going to be enough for them to take this one? Or are FM going to be able to walk away with another win on the board? Yet to lose a game in the Premiership so far. We'll see what TCA can do about that.
Well, let's hope he's not pulling out a total gross score, because apparently the rest of his team will get DDoSed. So I think he'll be fine. Sean 17, very skilled Twisted Fate player. I love that he's
so far he's looking like gross score.
Spams that emote at them at start, yeah. No, but like I said, my only issue here with the TCA comp as well is that, yes, it's reliant on Sean 17, but it's also reliant... I don't think they have a huge amount of burst to deal with Tundra, Toaster, and Zibbies. I think that they'll be able to burst one of them, because remember, Maokai's going to have to single a target. I imagine Raisins will follow that target up, and then they're going to basically be blowing everything onto one target, and then you've still got the other two big threats to deal with, whether that be Toaster, Zibbies, or Tundra.
Well, we'll have to see. By the looks of things, the community are definitely looking to be in favor of FM Esports. 100% of the votes over to FM so far. You can head over to the ESL website to vote on who you think is going to be able to take this one. You can just Google ESL UK Premiership. You will find the site to put your votes down, but very, very standard start coming out from these teams so far.
So it looks like we've got a double jungle coming out for Raisins and JB. They're going to be taking the first two camps together. That will leave the bot lanes free to take the Krugs for the side of FM and then take the Gromp for the side of TCA. So no, neither bot lane is going to be out of sorts when going into lane. So you're going to have the double jungle coming out from Tundra and Candyfloss too. This is a very regular tactic that we've been seeing recently. It basically means the top laners get a slight XP boost. The junglers get a little bit easier clear, keeping themselves healthier to make some ganks after they've taken their second buff. And the bot lane will be fairly strong going in. But look, TCA finished very quickly. That is the power of taking the Gromp. They will be into lane and be able to get a little bit of an XP boost over the FM bot lane here.
Yeah, and then we'll see JB Dutch Owens heading back to base, as you would expect. Got that early level 2. He'll go for that teleport into lane, and at the same time, Tundra going to be doing the same thing. Blue buff actually donated over to Tundra there.
That's really interesting for me. I'm trying to think if that must have been intentional, because...
Yeah, absolutely.
Because obviously Candyfloss doesn't need the blue buff to get through his jungle. Tundra does make use of it. So maybe Tundra just looking to sustain through, keep using that lunge, and attempt to sort of get a lot of those weak spots hit on JB and trying to bully him out of lane. That's an interesting tactic. Let's see if it works out for them, Cotton.
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of see the logic with it. When you go for that double jungle start, you do have an easier start to your clear. You don't necessarily need that to hit the level 2. So maybe, just maybe, this is some new meta-breaking strategy that we're just not onto yet. But we'll see how that one's going to pan out for them. Tundra is going to be pushed underneath his tower very early on here. JB Dutch Owens on that Maokai does have a lot of wave clear to be able to do that with.
Yeah, so what I love about the Fiora as well is that Lunge prioritizes weak spots. So they prioritize vitals is what they're called.
Yeah.
So every time you lunge, you prioritize hitting that vital. And look, both junglers know where they're where they need to be, basically. They know that they need to be putting pressure on this mid lane. And the wards on either side, because they knew where each of the junglers were starting, are in the perfect position. And actually, they're just going to go back to farming. And I think actually Candyfloss looking to make something happen in this bot lane. There isn't a ward. Yes, there is. The ward will spot him walking into there. So I think the TCA bot lane are going to be fairly happy. Pause just coming through. And so far, all even Stevens.
Yeah, absolutely. Very aggressive positioning as well from Raisins in the top side of the FM jungle. We'll see after the pause is done whether he's able to do anything with this one. I think it's mostly just because he saw Candy Floss down at that bottom side. He saw him on that ward. He sees an opportunity to go and steal away a couple of jungle camps.
Yeah, so he's probably going to get a couple of, if he's got like his trinket ward, he might get a deep ward down just to see if he can plot any of Candy Floss's movements. He will go and probably take the Grump away, maybe stick around for the Wolves, but I doubt it. He's just looking to be aggressive and get any sort of advantage he can. These small advantages that you can gain can sometimes be quite telling, because he will take this extra camp and then he'll go back to his own jungle and start to farm, and he'll have a small XP advantage. We're back into game, by the way. He'll have a small XP advantage going up against Candy Floss, who looks to be spending a lot of time. I think he's trying to bait the TCA bot lane into thinking that he's backed, but he's going to back off now.
Yeah, the ward has timed out, so they can't see him any longer, but he is just going to back away from this one. Over towards the mid lane, an ever so slight CS lead starting to build up for Sean17, but he's running out of mana. We'll see. I mean, this is one of the things about Twisted Fate. You are going to be able to just constantly shove those minions underneath the mid tower.
Yeah, I mean, without blue buff, Orianna will find it very difficult to shove waves consistently. And Raisins, they know the win condition. They're going to try and make something. Oh my word! And a pause comes out.
Yeah, so this is a little bit of a misread by Zivis here. Sean17 so far has been pushing the wave under tower consistently every single minion wave. That last one, he doesn't. He just stays and freezes it in the mid and just starts CSing. I feel like that was significantly different to the previous minion waves. Maybe could have seen that coming, but Raisins is going to be coming in for the gank. Yeah,
so the pause has just come out. I don't think that he would have been dead anyway. He will be able to flash.
Cleanse.
He's got cleanse as well, so he can cleanse a cocoon or a gold card, and even if he needs to, he can flash. So this will either be burning summoners, or he won't. But he's not going to die. He's just relogging apparently because he can't see auto attacks. That is basically, that's the bug.
That's a pretty big
deal. Yeah, so he wants to make sure that he's on an even footing. He's having a hard time CSing, basically. It's a bit like the Caitlyn bug. People find it hard to CS with Caitlyn when that auto attack bug is taking place, because
the projectile's not timed.
Exactly. They're like, I rely on my projectile basically to know when I can reset my auto attack and things. So, but I do like the fact that Raisins is committing to this mid lane, because, like I said, TCA are aware of their win condition, and here we are. Ziv is in the mid lane, not burned. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so nice jukes coming out from them. Did end up having to use the flash and the cleanse, though, to get away from it.
Yeah, he was scared. He was really scared there, but he survives. So for another 5 minutes or so, he will be vulnerable. Now, this is a really big, Vedius, who's one of our other casters for the ESL Premiership, he harps on about this a lot, and he's very right. Orianna with flash is a sitting duck. So now she will be very, very vulnerable when trying to push that mid lane against the Twisted Fate. And she's going to have to go back, fairly soon. But she's going to be incredibly vulnerable without flash to Elise and Twisted Fate. And Orianna is probably one of the worst mid laners to have without those summoners.
Yeah, absolutely. And we are actually going to see Raisins coming in for yet another gank. But Tundra is well aware of the situation. 2 wards, 1 in the river, 1 in the tri-brush. She's going to be perfectly safe on Project Fiora. He's going to be feeling very comfortable, yeah. I actually thought it was Project Evelyn when I first saw it. It looks a lot like Evelyn. But
with a sword.
Yeah, Evelyn with a sword, essentially.
Evelyn with a sword. So, it's pretty sated start here, apart from that gank in the mid lane.
Except for the lack of Devourers.
Yeah. Oh, look at this. Oh, the damage coming down onto JB, and that is Tundra. He's really putting the pressure down now onto JB on that Maokai, and it's a lane that's going to be very difficult for JB to win. He hasn't got teleport up. If Tundra can push this, he's making a really sensible decision here. He knows the wave is going to push back towards his own turret. So he's going to back, let the wave push towards him. And actually this will probably deny Maokai more than attempting to push the wave into turret himself.
Yeah, and especially with the amount of minions he would have had to push there. It doesn't have, obviously, a Tiamat or anything yet, so...
He's never going to reset the wave completely as well, so he wants to make sure that he is able to put the pressure down onto JB with the wave on his side of the lane. I love this play from Tundra. Not afraid to sacrifice some minions, knowing that later into the lane he's going to be incredibly strong. Picked up a pickaxe too. So JB, managing only to pick up a Ruby Crystal and a Mana Crystal, will start to feel the pain of the Fiora now.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is so important that he wasn't able to get that early Catalyst. That's going to be fantastic for Tundra.
Yeah.
You need him to not have that sustain. Maokai already has enough sustain without getting that Catalyst early as well. So Tundra going to be very happy in this situation. JB Dutch Jones was able to push the minion wave up as far as he could, and it is going to pretty much reset. Will now be pushing towards Tundra again.
Maokai just coming down. I thought he was maybe looking to go aggressive in the mid lane, realizes that no one's there. And he's just going to place a ward here in this mid lane. I think they're basically looking to get maybe a TP gank onto Orianna. That could be a play JB wants to make. They are going to ward up that side lane brush, so he should be safe from any ganks coming from the river. However, obviously JB can still teleport. The only thing about running teleport against the Fiora is that Fiora is very unlikely to cancel it. Here comes Twisted Fate.
It does indeed. Toaster could be in all kinds of trouble, but it's going to be Nutri stunned up as Jakamaka trying to land the auto attacks, but he's just not got enough. That's going to be the stun onto Toaster, but the blue card salute comes out from Sean 17. He can't finish it off. Disaster.
Oh, Reginald has made an appearance, everybody, and he's in the form of Sean 17. He wanted that gold card. That surely would have been a kill, but the heal came out too, and Sean 17 was so close to dying there as well. Yeah. Very risky play being made there. And to be honest, that wasn't the most ideal position for Twisted Fate to get a gank from, especially versus the Janna. Janna was one of, oh my word though, Toaster and Nutri.
The re-gank coming through here, and nice monsoon from Nutri. Is it going to be enough though, Toaster?
Wow.
That's going to be the concussive blows passive, but without an AD carry, they just don't have the follow-up. And the teleport, it's going to come through from Tundra. Bartiono could be in a whole lot of trouble right now as he jumps straight in onto them. He's going to get stunned up in a second though, but Bartiono incredibly low. Raisin's now going to be the target. Look at the damage coming out from Tundra, but he can't finish anyone off. And now the Ignite ticking away on that Fiora, but JB Jones just does not have the damage. He has to flash away from that one.
Jakamaka should be 6 soon. He should be 6 soon.
We'll see if he's going to be able to get it. He's a few minions away, but it looks like after all of that action, nobody going to be taking the advantage.
Okay, so this all... there he is. He is 6 now. Replay's going to come up here. I'm going to have a quick look at this replay. I'll guide you through it. So here we go. Here is the teleport coming in through Tundra. This is just after the Twisted Fate gank. Toaster is really low. Tundra wants to get damage onto Bartiono, and you can see here, he has an incredible parry. Watch this parry. He blocks the Winter's Bite coming out from Bartiono. Bartiono does manage to get away, and then the damage comes down onto Raisins. The ultimate is popped, so that's all the damage coming through in the true damage format. But he flashes and gets away, and this is even Stevens now. They're just going to have to back off, realizing that JD is a serious threat. And in comes Jakamaka. So yeah, I mean, that was just after the Twisted Fate gank. I think the most important part of that was the Twisted Fate play made there. And interestingly enough, during that gank, Nutri just hit 6. He only just got Monsoon. Had he not got 6, that surely would have been a kill on someone at least. But again, I've got to say, Nutri did 2 things really well there in that gank. He Monsooned at the correct time during the Elise Q, and he also used that Howling Gale and body blocked for Toaster. Really fantastic play from Nutri.
Yeah, Zivis, though, could be in a whole heap of trouble right now. Flashes away, but the Cocoon gonna land, has to use Cleanse as well. But TCA not able to capitalize on his lack of summoners earlier on in the game, and he's going to be able to survive that one. Just after that huge team fight, while the replay was going on, you could see it in the bottom right of your screen. There was the first blood onto Tundra, tried to back very aggressively and was punished for it. Nutri, though, going to be caught by the double stun there.
Oh, Candy!
The triple knockoff comes through. Oh! Beautiful shockwave as well. Bartiono trying to back away from this one, but he's going to be going down. Toaster gets the reset, jumps onto Jakamaka. I don't think he'll be able to follow that one, though. And it is going to be a 3-kill advantage and a dragon over to FM.
Oh, my word. Hopefully we're going to get something up on your screen here for that, because that was crazy. So they spy an opportunity. Lots of summoners, but then Candy Floss with the flash on Burrow right there. Toaster in the perfect position, and that shockwave was incredible. Toaster just wailing on people in the front line. There's nowhere for Raisins to go, and Bartiono taken down as well. That's a huge, huge lead for FM, and that's what I'm talking about with Candy. He is aggressive, he knows when to make the plays. 1-0-2, and turns everything around here for FM. Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, really, really well played by FM, and able to really capitalize on that. And I mean, I think Candy Floss really, really perfectly set that one up. Got the triple knockup with that on Burrow, and then Zivis was there to capitalize with the shockwave.
So importantly, what you need to note here is that every single flash was down apart from JB's, and JB wasn't part of that fight because he'd used his teleport. So during that bot lane gank with the TF, where it went so wrong, really, for TCA in the long run, every single flash was used, and Candy knew that. Candy knew that all of those flashes were down, and there was an immediate knock-up into Shockwave. Absolutely ridiculous. I mean, that was fantastic from FM, and that's exactly why they're one of the strongest teams in the ESL Premiership.
Absolutely. And we'll see what TCA are going to be able to do about this one. We've been talking already about how their composition is very reliant on this mid-stage of the game. With that Twisted Fate, you have to be making those plays, and so far.
Oh, Nutri.
He's got one death, but Nutri in all kinds of trouble. He's going to go down. Toaster, not a whole lot he could do about that one. Did use the heal, but it's not going to be enough.
You're just not respecting the all-in from Browmash. That is a freeze lane that will freeze you up with the Frost Arrow, then freeze you up with the Brown passive. It's, you know, you've got to respect that. They're going to take the bot lane turret for the troubles, and Nutri just caught in the wrong position there. Again, he did have flash. He could have flashed away from that, but there was just probably no way of him expecting it at all. So, going to be the first turret of the game, but Sean 17 in the meantime.
Yeah, he is in. I mean, there's not even time to commentate. He just gets taken down. Ziv is going to pick up on that one. He's going to be very happy with his second kill in the bag, and they're going to end up trading this mid tower for the bottom one. But Toaster is going to get stunned up by the Cocoon. Winter's Bite is down, but he's going to be able to jump away. The shield from Orianna keeps him alive. And now they're going to be able to set up the siege back onto this turret. Ash coming from the side, but has no crystalline arrow. And now Toaster still only on 300 HP. But they're onto Barciono. Wow. They take him down with ease. And now they're going to be able to back away through the mid lane.
Yeah, that was a nice series of events from FM doing exactly what Tristana is supposed to do, and that is just taking down turrets as and when she pleases. In the meantime, Tundra is just farming this top lane. He has got a 30 CS advantage over JB at this point in time, and yes, he died early on to the Ash. Oh, Raisins just getting caught out by Nutri. He's not going to die here, but Nutri will be heading towards that top lane. JB going to ward up, realizing that he's coming his way. So, what's interesting about this now is actually the laning phase seems to have ended, which means that Sean 17 is going to be 10 times weaker. I mean, TF thrives in an extended laning phase. Once people start to group for towers, you know, he's not going to be as strong. And what I love about the way that FM are playing, they've said, we're going to group for towers because we have Tristana. We're not going to make ourselves weak to any Twisted Fate ganks. And you're seeing here the tried and tested Grow Score Revelation build has actually been being played for a very long time in Korea and most respectable TF players. They go for the Ionian Boots home guards because they want to get as many ultimate ganks off as possible. Well, once the laning phase is ended, that's going to be more and more difficult. He's going to have to look for picks across the map when people are out of position. And here comes an out-of-position gank.
Yeah, Tundra, it actually is going to survive this one in a 3v2. FM are going to be able to take this. Sean having to back away. Nice gold card onto Candyfloss is going to keep him alive. But TCA, in a 3 versus 2, lose out, and now Nutri on the scene. This may even be a tower coming out for FM. They're going to pressure onto this one. I don't think Sean's going to be able to clear it on his own, trying to get some damage down, but Candyfloss zoning everybody away. Now TCA coming back in to defend this tower. They're going to be able to protect the objective, but at what cost?
So the ultimate came down, Grand Challenge came down onto JB there, and it does percentage max health true damage. So no matter what your resistance is, no matter what your health, you will take some serious pain from Fiora should she manage to get that ultimate successfully on you. And then the heal came down, that gave him basically full health, and Barciono at this point in time going very aggressive.
Actually getting ignited as well, but Candyfloss maybe has gone too far. A nice Monsoon is going to keep that jungler alive.
Here comes Tundra.
So many people here for TCA. Tundra is now entering the fray. Doesn't have that ultimate available and isn't going to have the damage. In the meantime, Ziv is on Orianna. 1v1 to Twisted Fate, but the fight is still going on. Tundra now is going to get crit out by Jakamaka, who takes the kill. Crystalline Arrow was used, so they're not going to be able to chase on too hard. But in the meantime, the split push is going to be coming out from Toaster.
It just wasn't totally worth it here for TCA. 2 turrets in exchange for Tundra's life. I think FM will take that trade every single day of the week. And it also means solo experience and solo farm onto Toaster, who is just a little bit behind in farm. He's even going to get some serious damage onto this bot lane turret. Sean 17 and Barciono are going to have to come down and defend that. And to be honest, Sean 17 is having a really tough time on Twisted Fate right now. He's struggling to get that Lich Bane up and running. He's basically struggled to have an impact anywhere across the map at this point in time, and that's because FM has played against the strengths of Twisted Fate, which is by extending that laning phase, by getting caught solo, and always having backup there when you are solo. So Tundra was solo in that top lane, but Candyfloss was right on point.
Toaster needs to be careful here. Twisted Fate ultimate is about to come off cooldown. If they can use that Destiny correctly, it's now off cooldown. Toaster is all on his own, but they're just not going to capitalize. Yeah,
I don't think Toaster will stay around too long. And even if Twisted Fate tried to solo ultimate to Toaster, I still think Toaster would probably 1v1 the Twisted Fate at this point in time, or at least escape scot-free. It would be a waste of a Twisted Fate ultimate. Like I said, it's difficult now for Sean 17 to have an impact because this is where we're going past that phase of the game where Twisted Fate snowballs these lanes. And like I said, relying on one win condition is really, really hard. And it's going to be another Dragon here going over to FM. Uncontested, there's nothing that TCA can do.
And in the meantime, they get the top tier 1 as well. That's usually what you see traded across for those Dragons early on in the game. Yep. But FM going to be able to take 2 objectives, no strings attached. So they're going to be very happy with that one. And the Death Brush being set up here, but Toaster, he's not falling for it.
He's not falling for it. He's having absolutely none of it. And actually, it's probably due to that ward in that blue side jungle here for FM. They've got a ward in the blue brush. They probably saw everyone stack up there. Then no one appear in the bot lane, so there's only one real place that they could be. And Tundra still going hard on that split push, playing a little bit like a Tryndamere would, in the sense that he knows that he can 1v1. He knows that he'll have to be dealt with, otherwise he'll take towers, and he's just going to try and draw aggro. But he'll always have the support of his team should he get caught out. There's some good mobility coming out from Candy Floss, and Nutri is across the map right now, warding like crazy. Look at these aggressive wards coming out from FM, and wow, Tundra going aggressive here onto JB.
Certainly is, and the rest of both teams going to be heading up towards this top lane. JB going to be able to walk away from this one with his life, for now at least, but Zivis is on these sidelines on this Orianna, trying to do what he can, and FM, they've got a lot of pressure on this top lane tier 2 tower, but their AD carry is nowhere to be seen.
You need only look. Oh, here comes the enchanted crystal arrow.
Nutri gonna get caught up, and here comes the destiny to follow through. That's gonna be Nutri going down immediately. He's gonna be deleted.
That's the combo we wanted to see about 8 minutes ago. that's the combo that was basically the TCA team lineup works really well with, but they've only managed to pick up 1 kill from it, and that's a lot of ultimates burnt for 1 kill. In the meantime, Toast are gonna get damage onto this bot lane turret, and look, the rotations from TCA. They are just scurrying across the map to save their turrets. You're playing a Tristana, that's not going to happen easily. And it's another turret here for FM. So every time someone dies, FM gets an objective for it. That is true split push style. Hotshot GG would be proud. And this is looking really difficult now as a 5k gold lead is opening up here for FM.
Yeah, and that's one of the things as well. They used absolutely everything and only got Nutri. They only managed to kill the support for it.
Yeah.
It's really not a good situation for them. You can't afford to use every ultimate. And Candy Floss getting the last tick with his Cinderhulk there onto the
They're trying to bait this pink ward, I think. They're not clearing this ward intentionally because they're trying to bait the pink ward.
Oh, is it going to work? That's the question. Raisins is going to get a nice repel away from the knockup, but Barciono is just not tanky enough as Toaster jumps forward so aggressively. He's going to be going down. There's the reset, but Nutri is traded across for that kill. So AD carry picks up a support on both sides of the map.
That's like classic solo queue tactics right there. There's a pink ward, and it sees the stealth ward, but no one's cleared it, especially when they're in that area. You've got to be thinking, alarm bells have got to be ringing at this point in time. They've got to be saying, what is going on here? Why haven't they cleared that ward? And in all, it's a kill for an AD carry for a kill for an AD carry. So in the grand scheme of things, it actually wasn't too bad for TCA, but it could have been so much worse.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, now we just see FM swapping which sides of the map they're on. And I really like this. Obviously, Fiora doesn't have as much pressure on the actual towers as Tristana does.
No.
But you've got that ability to get that global pressure with the teleport. And since Baron is now going to be the next objective these guys are potentially looking towards, Tundra being in the bottom lane makes so much sense. And look at the damage he's doing to JB Dutch Owens, already taking him down to half HP, shoving him out of lane.
Yeah, he's going crazy now.
Oh, wow. He's going to be going down. Red buff is enough from Candy Floss to finish him off. But Toast is being flashed at by Jackamaka. That's going to be the Glacial Fissure. Is it going to be enough, though? Candy Floss is getting very tanky. One last crit. Can finally finish it. Barciono gets it with the red buff, and Sean flashes forward with the gold card. There's the wild cards to finish off the Tristana. There's the shutdown, and now Nutri. He's going to be going down. That's going to be donated over to Sean 17. And in the meantime, there's nothing Tundra can do to capitalize.
Yeah, that was a really, really good fight for TCA. Maybe we can get a quick replay of that. We're going to have a look at what just happened.
Yeah,
here we go.
Crazy engage.
So basically, Toaster gets locked up. That's the ideal target for the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. Candy Floss attempts to get the damage down, but a good repel from Elise means he's going to stay safe for the majority. Look, she survives with a sliver of health. I think she might go down to the red buff. Yes, she does. But in the meantime, Jakamaka in the backline is just wailing on everybody. Ash doing the serious amount of damage that she can. A brilliant ultimate coming out. And here comes the Twisted Fate when everyone is low. This is a fantastic situation for Twisted Fate. And Sean17 is probably going to get the flash here. Yes, he does. Flash gold card, and that is an execute here. Nutri trying to save the day, obviously was going to save nobody, and goes down too. So much needed gold going in the back of Sean17's pocket. And actually this time round, nothing traded for FM. So a really nice bit of much needed gold for TCA, and now Tundra too aggressive, could be going down here.
Absolutely, but he's doing a decent amount of damage to the tree up in the top lane. Crystalline Arrow is going to miss on everyone as JB Dutch Jones goes back into Tundra, flashes away! What a play coming out from the tree.
Absolutely fantastic. He knew he had to wait out for that grand challenge to basically disappear, otherwise there was the potential for an outplay coming out from Tundra. Fantastic play, and again, FM getting punished for the overextension. They need to be a little bit more careful. Start to team fight, start to group up, start to push towers with Tristana. That is what your composition is good for. At the moment, TCA are doing a brilliant job of rotating to the much needed areas of the map. And again, Toaster trying to get something for Tundra's death, but Barciono is there immediately. He's used that Unbreakable. Toaster's going to try and get some damage on with that explosive shot. It might even go down here.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Oh, the shockwave
comes through, followed by a triple knock-up from Nutri, and there's the rocket jump forwards. The resets come through. That's a double kill coming across for Ziviz. Beautiful play from FM, and they've blown the top side of the map wide open. They could siege this tower, or they could look towards
How
Baron.
many times have I had to say that with anybody playing Orianna in the UK scene? They're going to go straight for Baron. The shockwaves have been brilliant this game, and Ziviz right now, he's trying to do some justice for FM and try and, I guess, type them away. He's going to use Flash. He's going to get away as well. In the meantime, there should be Baron going over towards FM Esports. A huge, huge objective for them. Probably going to steal the game here. I think it's going to be very difficult now for TCA to exploit basically their composition when FM are going to probably group as 4. Tundra might split push, but I imagine this might now just be to a straight-up teamfight situation. They're going to push with Baron. It's going to be difficult for TCA to find any headway to get back into the game here.
Yeah, and I mean, that's one of the things. If you can get the Baron when you're playing, you've been playing the split push style the entire game. If you can get that Baron buff, it just makes you that much stronger. But we did see, during all of that crazy action, a statistic popped up on your screens. Tundra just parried a Crystalline Arrow. Did you see that?
That was ridiculous from Tundra. That is reactions for you. They didn't even have vision of that Crystalline Arrow coming down. He would have seen it as soon as his character's vision saw it. And that was brilliant. Absolutely. Just fantastic play from Tundra. Obviously, it meant absolutely nothing for the grand scheme of things, but it was flashy.
It was awesome to watch.
It was awesome to watch. It was flashy nonetheless. Interesting that we're going to see a Zeke's Harbinger coming out for Brown, Barciono. He's not going to be going for that tanky Brown that will be able to survive team fights. He's basically looking to buff Jakamaka as much as possible, and I really like that. Supercharged Ashe. Consistent, 100% critical strikes. Obviously, that critical strike buff will go directly to her critical strike damage. I can't imagine an AD carry doing more damage in any situation than Ashe with the Zeke's Harbinger buff.
Yeah, well, oh my god, speaking of damage.
That's the problem, though. When you go a build like that on Brown, all it takes is a small combo from Orianna and you're left reeling.
Yeah, absolutely. Just takes his health bar apart right there, and now the Baron buff starting to do wonders for FM Esports. Tundra just pressuring on this bottom lane, trying to get as much going for them as he can. JB Dutch Jones is going to be able to tank up that cannon minion for a little bit, but now they're on to the tower. The rest of FM is just waiting for these minion waves to push in the mid lane so that they can pressure it at the same time, but it's not quite timed nicely for them.
Tristana
having to reel away, but Tristana takes down the tower. JB Dutch Jones going to fall as well as Sean finally gets a stun down. The Crystalline Arrow is going to be enough, and Toaster goes down, and now Jakamaka trying to get away, but Tundra capitalizes. That's Barciono going down, and Ziviz gets his second double kill. Sean now, the last man remaining, throwing out stun cards left, right, and center, but it's not going to be enough. He has to run away from that one, and that is going to be the bottom lane inhibitor. It's going to be the mid lane inhibitor. It could even be game.
It could even be game at this point. Those small death timers, though, they're going to have to do this very quickly. We might have a replay. We're going to wait to see if they can finish the game first. They are going for it here, so they have got 10 seconds. This should be FM's game.
They don't have an AD carry. That's the only issue. Sean with a nice Sonius, but it's not good.
It's buying time, though. It's buying time.
The rest of them are respawning. That's the last tower going down. Can they finish this one in time? They're going to be trying half HP on the Nexus as the rest of TCA arrives. The team fight ensues. Candy Plus is stunned up. He has to burrow away from this one as Bartiono chases straight onto him. Nutri incredibly low, trying to escape as Zivis is going for the mid lane inhibitor tower now. JB Jones taken down. Zivis playing Assassin Orianna, but they're gonna keep the Nexus alive.
Yeah, that was so clutch right there. Watch Candy Floss. He's not looking for the engage. He's buying time to take the turret. He's just there to buy time and scare the rest of TCA back. But now they've taken the turret, they can go for the full engage. Tundra knows exactly what he's got to do. He pops the ultimate onto Giacomoco and just makes him pay right here. Look at Fiora's damage onto him. He flashes in, gets the heal, and the shockwave takes out, completely wipes Raisins off the map, and does some serious damage to Bartiono, leaving Sean 17 the only member alive. And now that's where you see FM push on.
Oh,
Sean 17 stopped the game going down. Oh, nice jump away there from Toaster. Sean 17 stopped the game finishing just through that Zhonya's play, bought some time, allowed TCA just to get themselves basically not dying, but this is a downhill battle here. No way they can make their way back into this game. This is going to be mid-inhibitor and game. Surely Tundra going for the finish.
Oh! But there's the flash auto attack coming out from Toaster. That is going to be the game. What an ending. 27 minutes in, they managed to take that one.
And just like Tristana, that was explosive at that ending right there. And fantastic. We're going to see Tundra going for the X-Peke here by himself. He gets one auto away from taking it down. Then the flash auto from Toaster seals the deal for FM. And a brilliant first game in this series, absolutely dominant, completely negated TCA's game plan right there. They made TF useless for basically 18 minutes of the game, which is exactly what you want going up against the Twisted Fates.